Perfect.
Hello. Hello. Good
Good
evening,
evening,
ma'am.
sir. Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Am I
All
audible?
right. Yes, yes, absolutely perfect. So please keep a glass of water next to you. Because most of the speakers keep on speaking. I get very sentimental because थोड़ा सा गैप कैसे दूं आपको ब्रेक लेने के लिए पानी पीने के लिए.
Yes. But it is a part of my life because
Yeah, that is there.
on the
That is
regular
there. We
basis I
all
take like
definitely.
1 hour class daily, मतलब 5 to 6 lectures daily, 6 hours
Yeah.
at least.
So today is day 14 today. Sir, you're mute. Zubair, sir, you're mute. Yes. You are mute, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Are you
Yes.
saying something?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So here we are for the it's we'll start the session today. Good evening, everyone. So here we
Good
are
evening.
for the day 14 of NEP Live series of IDYM team, and the session is continued for the next 15 days more. And today is the day 14 of the successful NEP series. Today, again, we have a panel of speakers, eminent educators, who are going to talk about on the topic that is sustainability developmental goals. And they have years of research work, years of experiences, and years of implementation techniques, how we can use these goals and what are the ways of implementation of using sustainability developmental goals. So before we start over here, I would like to take the privilege to introduce my first speaker, that is Mr. Sunil Sood sir. Sunil Sood sir, he is a 67 years old mechanical engineer by qualification with over 44 years of experience, an activist in promoting energy conservation, efficiency and sustainability. He got interested in the education field to work for mainstreaming of sustainability with the help of self-learning concepts. That resulted in setting up of a facilitation center at Bhopal. It's a privilege having you here on this wonderful platform of IDYM, NEP series, day 14. So we'd like you to take the center stage and discuss about this topic in length. Most welcome, sir. Most welcome. Sir, you're muted. You're muted.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes,
Can you hear me
yes,
now?
yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much, and welcome everyone to my session today, which is about more about introduction of about sustainable development concepts, and also what I myself have been personally doing about it since about 4 5 years. So basically, there are two words involved in this: sustainable and development. Development is more given by the economist. The meaning of development is given by the economists who think that development means only economic progress. So generally, the meaning of development was taken more only in terms of economical progress, and that is how most all over the world development meant that economic progress. So this development started actually from the industrial revolution. That as the industrialization happened, then the measure of development started being talked about. But what happened during the 1960s, there was a realization happening that this development is not happening on its own, it is happening at the cost of environment. So early activists like Rachel Carson, can you see the presentation?
So I don't think we are showing presentation today. It's just
Oh,
normal conversation. Yeah.
okay,
Sir
today you
has
are
not
no,
given.
not
Yeah.
showing
Sir has not given
presentation.
the. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So early activists Rachel Carson, she pointed out the impact, negative impacts of DDT, using DDT for this agricultural uses. And then there were many concerns, other concerns, that though development is bringing employment, money, greater equality, better health, prosperous, powerful nations, happiness, and all that, but it is also bringing environmental devastation, health risks, inequality, poverty, and exploitation. So then there was a talk, rethinking about the meaning of development. Then in about in 80s, there was a commission, or Brundtland Commission formed for the whole world. That it was called Environment Commission, Brundtland Commission. Brundtland was the Prime Minister of this Norway actually, and she defined that development should not happen at the cost of environment, and actually it is possible to have development even at the cost of it, even along with environment protection. So they defined that development that meets the needs of the present, means present generation, without sacrificing the needs of the future generation, is will be sustainable development. So that is when the sustainable development concept started in 1980s. Slowly, it was also realized that it is also not happening only in at the cost of environment, but also at the cost of society. So then the three triple bottom line concept started. Means any development which is economically viable, socially good, and also environmentally benign. Then three P's they started talking of. Three P's. One P is prosperity, means profit, means economic sustainability. Second P is people, means social sustainability. Third P means this planet, means environmental sustainability. So many companies were then required to do triple bottom line performance, means what they did for the economic progress, but also CSR, social corporate social responsibility, then environmental responsibility and all that. So it came to that up till 2015 there were only three P's. That is, prosperity means profit, means economic sustainability, people means social sustainability, and planet means environmental sustainability. Then in 2015, all the governments they signed this agreement, Paris Agreement, whereby another two more P's were added. That is peace and partnership, because it was felt that all over the world this problems, conflicts, and wars are happening, and even if we are able to manage everything, but there is no peace, the world is in trouble. So then peace was added, fourth P, and to do everything together, finally it was decided that there is a need for a global partnership. So partnership means working together and it's sending a message that we are all interdependent. We are not independent. Anything happening in any part of the world affects others. So the sense of interdependence, the sense of working together, the fifth P was brought. Then what happened from 2015 when the goals were fixed, 2030, UN Sustainable Development Goals 2030 were fixed, and there were 17 goals, and in each goal there were targets to be met, time bound targets, say something by 2020, something by 20, and all the targets to be met by the year 2030. Now we are already more than halfway through, and what is the status of different targets and different goals? I will not go much into those details, but I will go only for the goal 7. Goal 7 is related to affordable and clean energy. Affordable and clean energy targets were, what were the targets? Target 7.1. Target 7.1 was by 2030 ensure universal access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services. Now, what it means that by 2030, every household, every consumer of energy should have access to clean energy like LPG, or which is not non-polluting and affordable. It should be also affordable, and also it should be modern, like clean energy or solar energy or electricity. That is the target. So coming to India's progress here into 2022, I think India has done reasonably well by providing at least 90% of households in India are now having access to electricity. Though many of the people may not have the capability, paying capacity, but they are having access. So this government.
You are muted, sir. Please unmute. Please unmute.
So access to electricity affordable means they are able to pay. But if they are not able to pay, then governments are providing some lowest to consumers some free electricity. So to that extent, India is meeting the requirement of clean energy, affordability, as well as modern energy, not olden type. So this target 7.1 is almost in the reachable stage. 7.2 by 2030 increase substantially share of renewable energy. Now renewable energy also a lot of progress is happening, but personally I myself feel that so-called renewable energy, the problem is the so-called renewable energy is not actually reliable, and it is also not actually renewable. So we, those who understand the energy field, they are not very happy, because in terms of the quantity we might be able to meet the target, but in terms of quality, in terms of availability and all that, the target 7.1 will be suffering. So on the one hand, we cannot continue with the polluting sources of energy like coal, gas, oil, and all that. On the other hand, we want renewable, but unfortunately, all the forms of energy are not so really renewable, because to produce those that kind of energy also requires a lot of consumption of energy. Solar panels don't cannot be produced without consuming the other energy. Same way wind energy, other thing. So that is one worrisome problem where, so really truly we have not been able to achieve the real renewable energy. So target 7.2 in terms of quantity, somehow we may be able to show the progress that we have done this much, but the real benefit is not coming. You can see in the recent war between Russia and Ukraine, and many countries, European countries, are switched back to coal, because they could not provide reliable sources of energy, so they went back to coal. So that is a one worrying sign. Target 7.3 is double the global rate of improvement in energy efficiency. Now energy efficiency is my field, and see, basically we conservation, energy conservation and energy efficiency are the foundation of energy. Actually, they are the things which are in our hand. So by using the existing energy more intelligently, more smartly, and using our even sometimes common sense, we can conserve. Firstly, we should learn all the techniques of these. These require some techniques actually. So they need for explaining those techniques, and then efficiency. Efficiency means doing the same thing by using less energy. Like for example, earlier there were used to be bulb, that incandescent bulb. 60-watt bulb used to give the light which was equivalent, which is then later on CFL came, compact fluorescent lamp. Compact fluorescent lamp was able to give the same light at one third of the energy. Then came LED, light emitting diode. LED is even saving even more, another 50%. So this is called efficiency, where same output, same thing you get at lesser consumption. So we need to focus. That is why this target 7.3, double the global rate of improvement in energy efficiency. Means the rate at which we are improving our technologies, like we are able to come out with more energy efficient refrigerator, more energy efficient AC, more energy efficient fans. So we should, that rate of improvement of energy efficiency you should double. Means you should then jump to super energy efficiency. That is the target, and slowly it is happening in terms of fans and other things. So super energy efficiency will be coming. Then target 2030, there's 7A, that is enhance international cooperation to facilitate access to clean energy and technology. This international cooperation, India has taken a lead, and the International Solar Alliance has been formed under the leadership of our own country, India. So many new ideas are emerging, where even our Prime Minister has given that idea of one world, one grid. Means sun, when the sun is not there here, the another part of the world sun is there. So if we have common grid, then probably we may be able to supply uh, solar energy anytime, because if all over the world, if the grid is connected, everywhere somewhere sun will be there. So that solar energy you can, but it is a Herculean task and it's not so easy to accomplish, but at least some work is happening, so that international cooperation is happening in this. And 7B is expand infrastructure and upgrade technology for supplying modern and sustainable energy services for all in developing countries, in particularly least developed countries. So here the question comes now: equitable distribution means, you see, energy is the primary need for development, and if energy is not there, those areas remain undeveloped or underdeveloped. So sharing, saving, and sharing, or producing and then sharing, so that those parts of the world, and to increase our partnership, that fifth P. And even peace, it helps in creating peace, because when the international cooperation of that kind happens, the conflicts and the other things reduce considerably. So this meets all the five P's, because when energy is there, there will be prosperity, there will be social harmony, there will be peace, there will be pattern. And but this should not happen at the cost of the planet, because first it is the planet. Our mother earth has come first, we have not come first. So first priority should be the planet. Means whatever we do, we should not do at the cost of environmental degradation. It should not degrade the environment, it should rather regenerate. That should be our first priority. Then comes people, means social sustainability. So when we are talking of social sustainability, means people, mean it should not harm the society. Whatever energy we are distributing, then finally it should not create social disparity and social problems, which were earlier happening, where some rich households were having good quality energy like LPG, good electricity, everything. Just opposite, you will find an non-electrified home, and they are using biomass, or they are using wood or coal, dirty energy, which was polluting their inside their homes, and it was creating sort of social conflict, that these people are cornering the clean energy. But that has been reduced by providing clean energy. Then third comes prosperity, means it should help in increasing the economic progress. So finally, energy is one, actually, the center of sustainability, which if we take care, then it can, but it has to be taken care in such a way that the foundation, means foundation should be of conservation. You cannot have an unlimited supply of energy, because our planet is limited. So once we understand that planet has limitations, it cannot supply you unlimited energy. So then what you have to do, you have to have conservation techniques as the foundation, and over that build efficiency, technology progress. Conservation is more from behavioral change, more from smart and intelligent use. Of course, conservation can also help through technology. Like nowadays, you can see occupancy sensors, or through technology, automatic switching on off, and saving energy, or reducing the setting automatically through technology. That also happens through technology also. Conservation can happen through technology also, but mostly again use of technology again requires energy. So the first priority should be we ourselves should learn what are the best practices for using all our home appliances, how to use a fridge, how to use a AC, how to use how we can club. There are many conservation techniques. Those techniques needs to be explained to the consumers. This kind of system presently is not there, where systematic training is provided to the users. End use. This is called end users. Those who are the real actual users of the appliances. So they mostly sales people in the shops. They are supposed to provide you some sort of training where how to use this so that you consume less energy. Then over this foundation of conservation, you have to do efficiency. Efficiency means buy only energy efficient items or B star rated items which are already certified as energy efficient. So you need not there again use much your time. Just see that it is having 5 star or something high efficiency labeling, and also learn how best to keep it under the same level. Because even if you have energy efficient item but you don't know how to use, then you may 5 star item you may use as a 1 star because you have not learned to use. So again, both are interlinked, conservation and efficiency. Then overall this we should then do the renewal means solar energy or wind energy, whichever. Actually, it is not still, as I told before, it's not fully renewable, but at least at the present technology level, you can say that it is renewable. But again, you should be very cautious that without the foundation of conservation and efficiency, don't think directly to put solar. First, make all your changes, then only you put solar. So this sustainable development, basically, this concept started in terms of conservation only, because like forest conservation, like there was a the first time when the conservation word was used was in terms of conservation of forests. So that is why you might be aware that forest department has those posts for conservation, forest conservators and all that. So that concept, that if we really work on conservation, we can sustain. Sustainable means ability to sustain long. So how that sustainable should happen, for how long, for whom, that we have to see. Sustainable for whom and for how long. Then that comes to picture that it should be within the replenishable capacity of the Mother Earth. If Mother Earth capacity is something which is more than you are consuming, then it will be sustainable. Just like if I give example of financial sustainability, supposing you have a fixed deposit of some 1 crore, and that fixed deposit of 1 crore is able to give you a monthly earning of say 60-70,000 per month. Now if your expenditure is less than 60,000, you can always, as long as you are alive, you will be sustainable, because your financial sustainability is there. Financially you will be sustainable. But if you start withdrawing from 1 crore, which is the capital, if you start taking money from your fixed deposit will reduce to 90,000, 90 lakh, 70 lakh, 60 lakh, then your interest will come down. So it means if you start withdrawing from the capital, your sustainability is not sure. Same way happens with the planet Earth. Planet is having some capital, natural capital. If you are withdrawing only the interest part, means which Earth keeps replenishing, then your sustainability is forever. But if you exploit more, withdraw more from the earth, from the nature, which is not able to replenish, then one day you will be in trouble. So this is what is sustainability. And development is now foregone conclusion that development is only about economic sustainability. It was given wrongly by the economists that development means only GDP. Development is now in terms of 5 P's: the development which is environmentally benign, socially acceptable, which is economically viable, socially acceptable, environmentally benign, and fosters peace and partnership. That is development. Otherwise, it is not development. So, sustainable development should be looked into from that angle. With this, I come to my end of my today's talk. I am not able to show the slide, so I can't continue more than this because I will not be able to explain.
No problem,
Thank you
sir.
very
No
much.
problem. No problem. Yeah, I would like to ask you some three, four questions related to
Yes,
what you
yes.
have spoken. Can I ask you some
Mm.
questions, sir? Yeah, the number one question of mine is the way you spoke
Yes.
about. Uh, can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
I would
Please.
like to
Yeah.
ask
Tell
you.
me now.
Yeah, I would like to
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
you
I
three.
can hear. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would like to ask you three, four questions. One is the way you spoke about the sustainability. I think we had some session with you 2, 3 days back. So we just
Uh-huh.
saw the way you have incorporated the real life learning. What
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of sustainability development goals are being taken into consideration to educate the learners of tomorrow? I would like to have some answers from you on this.
Yeah, this one I have done for the Sustainable Development Goal 4, that is quality education. So SD Goal 4 is about quality education, and I have aligned the education in terms of 5 Ps. That day I explained that learning should be aligned in terms of 5 Ps: learning for the planet, learning for the people, learning for the prosperity, learning for peace, and learning for partnership. If we are aligning the learning that in these 5 Ps, everything is covered actually. So we have made a very simple procedure of preparing curriculum framework, age-wise curriculum framework, right from 0 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 5 years, 5 years to 8 years, 8 to 11 years. Means age-wise, if you can prepare age-wise curriculum framework in terms of 5 Ps, that is what we have done. And once you align the learning in this way, you can, and then they become self learners actually.
Okay.
Hmm.
And yeah, one more thing is that since we all were stuck with COVID. So did you
Hmm.
did you find any way these sustainability development goals were being taken into account in online sessions, and what goals were they that were taken into consideration in online trainings and online education of children or adults or whatever? What goal number is
No,
that, and were
no,
they being met?
we didn't do online. We did all offline only.
Okay,
Online, for the small, for the children, we have not reached to that level because
okay,
children are not available.
okay, okay.
Children are not available. If I get
Oh,
children regularly, we can train them. But unfortunately, it focus 100% focus is only on formal education. For us, there
okay,
is no space. We don't have any space. So when can we do?
okay,
Everyone is only 100% giving focus only on formal education. There is no space
okay.
for alternative education. There is no space for non-formal, informal education.
Okay. Thank you so
Hmm.
much, sir. Thank you. It was really
Thank,
a valuable input. And
thank you.
we regret you not being able to show the slides and all. And definitely,
Okay.
we will work out on some other alternative very soon. Let us go. Let us have a trial test for 2, 3 days and see what actions can be taken, what implementations can be done. We also need some sustainability developmental goals to stop this PPT and all. And let us invent new strategies also. So thank you
Yes,
so
yes.
much for your efforts
Thank you.
also. And I would like
Thank
you to
you.
take the privilege to introduce Zubair sir, please. Sir, next
Yes,
speaker.
yes. Yeah, it's my pleasure and privilege to introduce Mr. Mohammad Zubair. Mr. Zubair is an assistant professor of special education, that is about learning disability in the Faculty of Education, Jamia Millia Islamia. It's a central university at New Delhi, India. He's a global keynote speaker, educationist, and motivational speaker, a versatile, dedicated, and professionally competent professional and certified practitioner from Rehabilitation Council of India. He has vast experience in identification of students with special needs, assessment, and evolving appropriate remedial measures. His areas of proficiency include learning disability, multidisciplinary educational plans, technology integration, team teaching approach, and curriculum development. Individualized education plan also is doing. He is having 10 years of experience in the field of education in different positions by serving various organizations. He has presented many articles and in international national conferences. He has published books and chapters in the field of education. He has been participating in more than 350 international conferences as a keynote speaker and also attended more than 500 seminars, workshops, in-service trainings, and webinars during his job period in different organizations. He is a member of many international organizations and publications. He is editor in many international journals. He has won many international and national prizes by different organizations. Welcome, Mr. Zubair.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Welcome,
Thank,
sir. Yeah, welcome.
thanks a lot, sir, for such a nice introduction, and thanks all of you. Thanks. I would like to convey my thanks to all the organizers who are organizing such events in the online mode for everyone, because we all are learning from one another, and learning is a lifelong process, and we can interact with one another here. So, Assalamu alaikum, namaste, and good evening to everyone who are here or who are watching this event. So the topic is sustainable development goal, and in context of NEP, the NEP 2020 is also in the line of goal 4 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and which clearly believes equal access to education is the base of sustainable development. And we have to talk about the inclusive setup, where we have to we have to include each and every child in the society, whether they belongs from the tribes or from the or the different parts of the country, or the children with special needs. Everybody we have to give in this education according to the need of according to their need, and in the same setup. And by aligning SDGs targets into NEP, the government has ensured the success of self reliance campaign of the nation through providing equal education to all. Lots of lots of legal uh, legal documents are there. So NEP 2020, which NEP 2020 will strengthen all the citizens of the country by enhancing their skills and knowledge. And furthermore, we can say it clearly talks about the complete overhauling of Indian education system from pre-primary to the higher education, along with the curricular reforms to institutional reforms in a phased manner, which will help India to achieve the SDG objectives, because it is important to achieve the SDG objectives clearly. As we all know, the sustainable development goals work towards a world of peace and prosperity, like previous speaker was saying, eradicating major issues such as poverty and hunger, and all while protecting the planet in the midst of the climate crisis. And this has never been more important in the past. And each of the goals are interlinked, meaning the key to achieving one often lies within another. The goals can be achieved if they are embedded within all each area of governance. And sustainable development goals uh, uh, sustainable development, what is the meaning of sustainable development? Means developing cities, land, businesses, communities to meet the needs of the present without affecting future generations ability to meet their needs. And the environment underpins each of the SDGs. They seek to improve living conditions for all, for each and everyone. Without increasing the use of natural resources, the SDGs work to protect the planet's resilience for our future generations. And as a good citizen, it's our duty. The climate change is having a profound impact on the communities nowadays. Practical action works with. So the way in which the world responds to the climate crisis is closely tied to our progress against the SDGs, as well as our work with communities on the ground. So we showcase bottom-up adaptive work by people on the front line of climate change at global events such as um, COP. So, so it means, there are pillars, like people, like previous speaker was saying, the people and the planet and the prosperity and the peace and the partnerships which are required. Sustainability sitting at the core of each, because these pillars are, there to inform decision making around interventions installed by the government or the stakeholders who are participating, for the SDGs. So when a new policy is adopted, it must consider the consequences it will have upon any of the, pillars. So today, United Nations successfully continue to consider these pillars against each of their development goals, and they offer a, blueprint that many organizations can measure their own actions against. So, I how a person, how a person like you and me can contribute to sustainable development, because as a aware citizen of the country, or as a, active member of the society, it's our duty to contribute. So we all can help contribute, to the success of SDGs and sustainable development by both educating ourselves more and speaking out, and making practical and positive adjustments to our daily lives. So reduce and reuse and recycle with the waste heroes. Around the world, we can observe that people we work with the, discovering ingenious ways to reuse, recycle waste. So together they are keeping their communities healthy, and earning a living, and protecting natural resources. So meet the waste heroes and find out more about our work, and uh, tackling waste challenges, and discover how you can do your bit to reduce the amount of waste you produce, recycle more, and replenish natural resources in the society. you know we can get inspiration from our family or of supporters. Every choice makes a difference in the post, in the society. We can observe that we celebrate the amazing actions our supporters are already taking to choose a better future now. So lots of stakeholders are working, for the SDGs. So take positive action for a better future. We can all make positive choices that can make a difference to people at the sharp end of the climate crisis, like I told. So helping people find solutions to some of the world's toughest problems, like those included within the SDGs, are the heart of everything we do. So we work with communities around the world to develop sustainable solutions for climate resilience, for water problem, for waste management, for poverty, for agriculture and clean energy. So uh, we will be contributing towards the goals to achieve. So together we can make a difference in the society. We are working with the people across the globe to implement these things to achieve the goals. So we all can do our bit by taking steps to live more sustainability in the society. So like eliminate poverty or erase hunger, or establish good health and well-being, provide quality education, uh, gender equality, clean water, and the clean energy, and economic growth, increase industries and innovations and infrastructure. and reduce inequality in the society, and mobilize sustainable cities and communities. So we have to organize climate action and develop life below, the life below water is also essential, because I know we are living in the society, and the balance of the environment is important. The relationship between the biotic and abiotic factors are important, and advance life of land, and peace, justice, everything is important, and building partnerships to achieve the goals in the society is also important. So the goal of the sustainable development goals, the objectives are stable economic growth of the country or the society, the eradication of poverty and hunger, to ensuring a healthy life for each and every person, and conservation of natural resources, achieve universal access to basic services such as water or sanitation, and sustainable energy. And another thing is that the social progress and equality, reduce discrimination, inequalities in the world, especially gender inequalities. The disabled people are facing the discrimination. So supporting the generation by the development of opportunities, through inclusive education. We have to make the environment for inclusive environment, and we have to work. We have to do decent work, and foster innovations, and resilient infrastructures by creating communities and cities capable of producing and consuming sustainably. So another thing is that environmental protection, that is the also important part, because caring for the environment by combating climate change, and protecting oceans and terrestrial ecosystems, because the balance of the environment is important for the human beings. Environmentally, sustainable economic growth is another name to the concept of sustainable development, the goal of which is to achieve harmony between environmental sustainability, economic sustainability, and social political sustainability. Sustainable development always encourages us to conserve and enhance our resources by gradually changing the manners in which we develop and use technologies to achieve the goals. So all countries should meet their basic needs of employment, or the food or energy, water and sanitation. So everybody is rightful to a healthy, safe and clean environment. So this can be easily achieved by reducing pollution or the poverty or the unemployment. So we have to work as a team, and all the stakeholders have to take part in that. So why India needs to achieve sustainable development, because India's population is so high, so lots of challenges in the society. India as a nation uh, is entrepreneurial, and at the apex of changes, and with India being world's youngest country, its youth needs to be engaged in early and action to be create and sustain a long-term momentum. We need a momentum to achieve the goals. So that can help the country see its targets through the drive sustainable development goals action. So more than 70% of the world population lives in cities. So cities already consumes 80% of the global material and energy supplies, and produce 75% of the all carbon emissions. So so in the cities, we have to aware and sensitize the society, and we have to give the responsibility to each and every citizen. So role of citizens in making earth a cleaner and better place to live in, harmony, peace, everything. We have to aware at the school level. We have to include these things in the curriculum to aware them to achieve the targets. So we as citizens should unlock market businesses for innovative and sustainable products to get cost effective energy saving solutions as well. So reduce deforestation and promote afforestation in the society, in the environment, and has to make our environment carbon neutral. And we should restrict the use of renewable resources, and substitute them with non-renewable resources maximally. We have to aware, we have to sensitize society, and it means the rate of extraction should not exceed the rate of regeneration. So we can't have decent work and economic growth or food security without first taking care of the environment. So if I am not taking, I am not able to get the food, or I am very poor, I'm in the poverty. So how can I get the education? You know, the basic needs. Maslow theory says that about the basic needs, the hierarchy is there. So if we can achieve these 17 sustainable development goals among us, we will make the world a more prosperous place for each and everyone in the society who are living in the society. You know, for example, when we talk about monitoring, without proper monitoring, it is impossible to implement the SDGs in the country. So yet this important measures is neglected sometimes, because monitoring is important. You cannot manage what you do not measure. Monitoring the SDGs depends on the participation of members, states, the stakeholders. Most countries have monitoring, programs focused on aspects of governance and the management and the other things. So we have to monitor. We have to give the opportunity, and we have to provide the, and accountability must be there. Accountability is important. The 2030 agenda clearly indicates the global targets are not necessarily relevant at the local or the country level. Hence, the importance of adapting the targets to the local context, so that the results proves, valuable for country level implementation of SDGs. So accountability must be there, for each and every person. That is the important thing, accountability. So uh, the the sustainable development is, we can say, development that fulfills the requirements of the current generation where we are living, and without compromising the capacity of coming generations to satisfy their own requirements. Use resources in which manner, that your next generations use a fullest without compromising to meet their requirements. We need, economical sustainability. We need environmental sustainability. We need social sustainability. You know, this is a collection, of 17 goals designed to be a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for each and everyone. So, you know, it is, it is all inclusiveness, and unbreakable quality is a key element for sustainable development 2030 target agenda. And it refers to all nations as target societies, and those nations that adopt the agenda of 2030 will modify its existing specific development strategies to ensure that the world has a common aim of achieving realistic changes. We all have the common, aim to achieve these things. As far as the sustainable development goal is concerned, all the countries can be seen as producing, and also all countries have to make, serious moves, serious steps they have to take. So, the focus of goal 4, ensure quality education, access, equity, and inclusion. Significant progress has been made for both boys and girls, for tribes, for the women, for the transgenders, for the special kids. So, we have to provide them the access in the society, in the setup. So lots of challenges as well we have to face. We are facing, few countries have the, lack of human resource, lack of infrastructure, lack of awareness, and lack of lack of confidence, and lack of the implementation in the policies as well. So significant progress is required to achieve the aim of the SDGs. Even each and every, for example, the core elements of sustainable development, the core elements of are growth and social inclusion, environmental protection. It is crucial to harmonize them. Sustainability, economic growth, achieving sustainable livelihood, living in harmony with nature. Environment, as we talked about the environmental sustainability, it prevents nature from being used and used as an inexhaustible source of resources, and ensure its protection and rational use. So aspects such as environmental conversations, investments in renewable energy, saving water, supporting sustainability, mobility, and innovations in sustainable constructions and architecture contribute to achieve. In the same manner, social sustainability, it can foster gender equality, development of people, communities, and cultures to help achieve a reasonable and fairly distributed quality of life, healthcare, and education across the globe. Same economic sustainability focus on equal economic growth that generates wealth for all, without harming the environment. So investment and equal distribution of economic resources, and we have to eradicating poverty and all its forms of dimensions. This is the required for each and everyone in the society. So so we can say, we can say, by endorsing the 2030 agenda for sustainable development and its 17 goals, the world community reaffirmed its commitment to sustainable development. The agenda is universal and transformative and rights based. We have each citizen has rights, and it is an ambitious plan for action for countries, and the United Nations system and all the other stakeholders. The agenda is the most comprehensive blueprint to date for eliminating extreme poverty, reducing inequality, and protecting the planet. And we have to make this planet a beautiful place, a place where no discrimination is there, and we are providing the rights to each and every person. Maybe they are transgenders, or that they belong from the tribes, or special kids, or the women. So the agenda goes beyond rhetoric and lays down a concrete call to action for people, planet, and prosperity. And this agenda encourage us to take bold and transformative steps which are urgently needed to shift the world onto a sustainable and resilient path. So so the principles, universality, universalization is the important aspect for this agenda. The agenda is universal in scope and commits all countries, irrespective of their income levels and development status, to contribute towards a comprehensive efforts towards sustainable development. So, the leaving no one behind. We can't leave even a single person behind. The agenda seeks to benefit all people, and commits to leave no one behind by reaching out to all people in need and deprivation wherever they are, in a manner which targets their specific challenges and vulnerabilities. So, and the interconnectedness and indivisibility. Agenda rests on the interconnected and indivisible nature of the goals. It is crucial that all entities responsible for the implementation of as SDGs treat them in their entirely, instead of approaching. And inclusiveness agenda calls for the participation of all segments of the society, irrespective of race, caste, gender, disability. And the multi-stakeholder partnership is required, because we have to establish multi-stakeholder partnerships for mobilizing and sharing knowledge, expertise, technology, and financial resources to support the achievement of the SDGs in all countries. So this is the important aspect. So the 2030 agenda inspires each and every citizen, and it's our duty as a teacher, as educator, to inspire us, to motivate our students, to motivate persons in the society to think creatively by leveraging innovative approaches and critically rethinking the way we approach the development challenges of today. The advocacy and awareness raising efforts for the goals which are actionable and achievable are crucial to mobilize support for the agenda. So, however, in order to create long-lasting change, awareness raising and advocacy are not enough. Substantive knowledge about the agenda in its breadth and depth will be the key. So we have to give the depth knowledge to each person to realizing the sustainable development goals by adopting the agenda. The UN member states committed to an ambitious plan for action, which requires the concerned efforts of all segments of the society, including civil society or the developmental practitioners, the private sector or the academicians. Each one of us in personal capacities also needs to take concrete steps towards sustainable life choices. A commitment to lifelong learning is required to advance the transformational agenda in the society. That is the requirement. So thank you. These are my thoughts about. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I think you have covered almost all the aspects of the sustainability development goals. Two things I would like to just highlight is that you spoke about poverty. So considering India being most of the states are having beggars roaming on the streets. Every now and then we are seeing beggars on the streets, and we can implement some strategies. We can help to implement some strategies in order to make them pick up the basic skills so that they can earn income for their own survival in the society. But in spite of the government and the higher authorities, making implementation for them for the proper rehabilitation, for the proper staying, food, accommodation, everything. Still, after being given all this, we still see the same beggars back on the streets again. So why is this happening? What do you think is lacking and what is the lapse over here?
There is a gap. I think there is a gap between the coordination of the stakeholders, because there are lots of policies, we have talked about lots of policies, and but the implementation and execution, they are lacking. Lots of people, lots of services government is providing to each and everyone, but mostly people are not aware about. They don't know. We have to sensitize the society, we have to aware the society, and we have to educate them what are our rights and what are the facilities given by the government to each and every person in the society. For example, I am working in the special education field. So scribe facility is there. Many special kids don't know the scribe facility is there. Escorts facility is there. The disability commissioner is there. Disability commission is there, and they have the rights and they have the power. They can approach them. So it is the duty of each and every citizen. We can't say that it is a duty of only government or the teachers. It is the duty for each citizen. Whatever I can do, little work we can do in each and every aspect. So in my opinion, there is a lack of coordination, lack of implementation of the policies sometimes. And the another thing is that we are not giving the values to our citizens in the curriculum as well, because values come from culture. So we have to we have to include these values in our curriculum at the school level, because at the school level the childs are the blank slates, and we can mold them according to our needs of the society, because the needs of the society, because we have to work for the rehabilitation for each and every citizen. So as a teacher or as a parent, it's our duty to identify the ability and the talent, and to aware them and to rehabilitate them.
So I think from this answer, there are two things that can be taken as a takeaway output. That is, one is we need to start inculcating or developing sensitizing skills in the students, no matter whatever the age group. Because unless and until these kind of sensitizing skills are incorporated along with the academic empowerment skills, we cannot help children
Yes, ma'am. The another point is that, ma'am, every child is unique in their abilities and limitations as well in the society. For example, I have 2 kids or 4 kids, so they all are different in their skills. So as a parent or as a teacher, at the early stages of their childhood, we have to observe their potential, the caliber. Everybody won't be a doctor or engineer or the musician. So we have to identify the caliber, and according to the caliber, we have to work on their skills, the basic training, skill development. We have to work on the skills or the basic education, or we can in the curriculum. There is no need to give only academic perspective. We have to work on their non-academic areas as well for the overall personality development. For example, some students are very good in the sports, but they are not getting the opportunity because their parents want they will be. You have to take admission in the MBBS only. So these things are also happening in the society because the you know the counseling sessions, the guidance counselor must be there in the school. We have to talk about the multidisciplinary approach in the schools as well, because the general teacher is general teacher will work with the special teacher with the help of the guidance counselor. Guidance counselor will take the sessions, and all other teachers like some therapists, occupational therapists, physiotherapists, music teacher, the game teacher. It is a multidisciplinary approach, so we have to follow that approach.
So that means two things have to be incorporated in the NEP, which is missing, and which Zubair sir has highlighted very strongly in many of the sessions. And he is a keen person, always looking forward for there should not be discrimination in the society. I have been attending his session and I have been hearing from him now and then that he looks forward to a society devoid of any discrimination, devoid of equal opportunities to everyone. And
actually, I'm working in the field of special education. As we know, in the RPWD Act in 2016, 21 disabilities are there, but lots of people also have suffered with other disabilities which haven't included in the RPWD Act. For previously, there were 7 disabilities in the PWD Act. Then National Trust Act came, and then 10 disabilities were there. Now RPWD Act, 21 disabilities are there, but still we have to include each and every citizen.
That is
lots
of, that is why these NEP series have been created, so that we highlight the core issues which are not highlighted, and all the speakers are highlighting those kind of issues which is missing in the NEP, which need to be blended along with the academics. And since you have spoken about devoid of any discrimination, I think you have taken us all to a utopian place, which is far beyond imagination. We just speak. We are looking forward to such kind of a place in reality. So let the magical realism come in the reality and let us all experience the place that Zubair sir wants to see through implementation of each and every talk of us that we are enriching the talks on this session. Hope to have your dream come true, sir. Thank you so much. And I would like you to take the privilege to introduce the next speaker, sir. Thank you.
Ma'am. 1 second. Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Now I have to invite our next speaker of the day, and she is very experienced lady, Ambassador Dr. Iman Abdul Samia Ali Hussain Alam, and she has done her bachelor's in science, master's in science, and she has already done her PhD, and she is working as a lecturer at botany and microbiology department, faculty of science, Al Azhar University, Cairo, Egypt. And because I know her and I listen many times, and she is very skillful person, and she is very talented and very eager and always very keen to work. So she Dr. Alam is a dedicated lecturer and a highly skilled researcher as well.
I would like to introduce that Iman ma'am is the center of attraction of IDM. We don't need to introduce her every time. Her introduction is as important for every one of us. So welcome, ma'am.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you, my dear brother and my dear sister. I am very happy to be with you today. Today, I'll continue. I think all my colleagues really, they added a lot to our knowledge, so I need to skip. First of all, just I wanted to refer to SD goals, Sustainable Development Goals. Just I wanted to highlight that we have 17 goals. First, no poverty. Second, zero hunger. And third, good health and well-being. Fourth, quality education. And fifth, gender equality. And number 6 is clean water and sanitation. 7th, affordable and clean energy. Number 8 is decent work and economic growth. Number 9, industry, motivation, and infrastructure. Number 10 is reduced inequalities. And number 11 is sustainable cities and communities. Number 12 is responsible composition and production. Number 13 is climate change. 14 is life below water. And 15 is life on land. 16 is peace, justice, and strong institutions. And the final one is related to partnerships for all the goals. So I need to say that to keep humanity at its best status, we have 17 interacting goals. They are not separating at all. They are done to achieve sustainability. They are performed to achieve sustainability. Science and education is the two important keywords in this issue. So without science and without education, I think we can't keep sustainable development goals in its good form. Education affects in all goals and being affected also by them. We need to highlight on some issues like improvement of teacher skill development, and we need to correlate this with sustainable development goals. We need to have multi-institutional person. We need to have multi-institutional educator. This multi-institutional educator can think by using many minds instead of only one mind. We are talking about multidisciplinary. We need to focus on digitalization, eco-friendship, and globalization. For example, as I said before, we have interacting sustainable development goals. For example, I know that there is here in Egypt, for example, an association working on some projects like establishment of diabetes educators. Here you can see interaction between health and education. So interaction between goal number 4 and goal number 3. For example, if we are talking about equitable and inclusive education, it's right-based agenda against inequality. So you are talking about number 4 plus number 5 plus number 10 plus number 16. So we are going to focus on also again and again multidisciplinary and motivative education. What about UNESCO in this issue? UNESCO focused on knowledge-driven actions, focused on transforming higher education for global sustainability. So 2030 agenda highlighted this issue related to higher institution and also higher education inside these institutes. So higher education institutes must have a role with the society, must affect on our society. We are talking, for example, about climate change. So we need to educate our students. What is the issue of climate change? For example, we need to talk about our environment. We need eco-friendly students. So I think all SDG goals are affected by education and also affecting on education. We need to have knowledge-driven actions, transforming higher education for global sustainability according to the agenda of 2030. It's a global agenda. We need to be smart in achieving our goals. We need to be specific. We need to have measurable goals. We need to be attainable. We need to be relevant. And also we need to have time frame to achieve our goals. So every country has a policy. We need to make this policy to be international, not only national. We need to have international educational policy. Each country has national educational policy, but we need to focus on improving international educational policy. Via this international education policy, no hunger, for example, no poverty. All people will be equal because all people are well known by what is the meaning of humanity. So there is no differences between me and you. For example, we are same. We are talking about woman empowerment. So we need to move to international educational policy. We need to inform our students what is the elements to acquire knowledge, listening, thinking, observing, writing, reading, learning, discussing. We need to have students with broad-minded students and online-minded students. How come we need to improve the educators before improving the students? We need to have our scientific diplomacy. We need to have ambassadors of educations. We need to access the change and the transformation in higher education, an essential task of leaders. This is not my words. This word is transmitted from Peter Ickel about 20 years ago. I appreciate this phrase. We are going to have a leaders if we are going to change and transform our higher education. Educational organizations are the places in which we can create a leaders. So we can get in these organizations the leaders of tomorrow. These leaders will affect on health, will affect on climate change, will affect on all aspects of SDG goals, because all these aspects are related to humanity, are related to peace in life. Everything is affected by peace. Everything is affected by education. So we need to share knowledge as a messenger, not only as a worker. We are not a worker. We are messengers. If we are educators, so we are messengers. We have a responsibility to motivate others. So we are talking about leaders. We are talking about tomorrow leaders and today leaders. We need to share our knowledge by love, by appreciation. We need to talk about globalization in education, online universities, AI, STEM. It's very important. We are isolating the sciences, but we need to do interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary. We need to correlate everything with mathematics and physics, and we need to return to the nature. We need to talk about advanced sciences. We need to be online-minded. We need to focus on motivation to afford all hard works. We need to assess our organizations. We need to evaluate. No improvement without evaluation and assessment. It must be done carefully. We need to overcome all crises. We can overcome all crises, and we can keep our sustainability of life by science and by education, by innovation, by creativity. Vaccines, drugs, and so on are done by science, are done by education. Without science or without education, can we keep our health at its best level? I think no. So there is interaction between all goals of sustainable development. So we need to go to digital transformation. We need to go to blended learning, hybrid conferences, and quality assurance. It's very essential to build humanistic, ethical, inclusive, and purpose-based digital transformation of higher education to achieve sustainable development goals. So digital transformation is highly required. It appeared in some countries at the time of COVID, maybe slightly before, but it's very important. We need to call for international and national frameworks related to how to evaluate the transformation of, transformation in education. We need to have evidence of transformation. We need to know that we need to change curriculum, pedagogies, student learning assessment, our policies must be changed. I think in a very short time, we need to be updated. We can't be fixed and waiting for improvement. No one will improve us without improving ourselves. We need to have great institutional structures containing of many leaders, not only one leaders. The principal and the VP and so on are not alone the responsible person for inside the institute. Student himself or herself is a leader. We need to have great decision makers. We need to have group interactions. We need to focus on languages. Before we have a lecture about multilinguistics. Really, I appreciate. We need to have conversation. We need to listen to the opinion and the other opinion. We need to have our professional development programs to improve the skills of educators to be up to date. We need to know what is the meaning of skills, what is the meaning of thinking activities, what is the meaning of discussion and skill goals and practical activities, what is the meaning of monitoring, consultation, improvement. What is the meaning of management, training, and success? We need to know what is the meaning of success. Is it related to gaining money? Is it related to creating leaders? Is it related to, as you like, anyone has his or her meaning of success. Anyone can translate success as he wants or she wants. We need to know what is the meaning of career development. We are talking about the human being because human being is the top of sustainable development goals. No one of these goals are devoid of human beings. So all of these things are talking about the person. What can we do for this person and what can this person doing for the society? So for this reason, it's an interaction. Regarding education, for example, we need to talk about educator, colleagues, students, curricula. We need to improve all parts of education and all partners in the educational process. We need to talk about self-development. We need to talk about training and development. We need to have our coaches, our trainers of trainers. We need to focus on inquiry in education. It's not only the curricula. It's asking. Please ask what, where, when, and so on. So there is a difference between teaching and learning. We need to focus on holistic learning to build ourselves. We need to focus on how to ask, how to investigate, how to create, how to discuss, how to reflect. We need to talk about active learning, inquiry-based teaching, and many advanced sciences. So if we are practicing active learning, inquiry-based teaching, and learning, and so on advanced sciences, it will be very easy. So we need to talk about interaction. Not only lectures. I am not only the only leader inside my class. No, I have many leaders. The leaders are my students. They are interacting with me, so they are leaders. We need also to focus on diplomacy in education. It's very important to improve research skills of students and youth researchers to be diplomatic scientists, we need to improve their skills, writing skills and reading skills. We need to inform them how to build a paper, research paper. When they are very young, we need to inform them how to create the structure of the paper, scientific paper, how to express your ideas, how to be best participant in every scientific meeting, how to collaborate with each other, how to accept the other. And what about online ethics of online and offline participation? What is the rules of you if you are participant, if you are vice chairperson, if you are chairperson, and so on? We need to have diplomatic scientists. We need to have ambassadors in education. We need to inform them what is the research paper, what is the review article, because maybe they have many ideas, but they can't write, they can't read, they can't express their ideas. We need to inform them that the paper, in my book, Alphabets of a Scientific Paper, I talked about the scientific paper is not only merely a paper as any other written paper. It's a pencil pen reactions inside the mind of the scientist to produce applicable work, supplied a beneficial product for the society. So we are talking about sustainable developments. We are talking about how to react with your surrounding environment. So let's talk about science, education, and let's talk about, we have 17 goals. They are interactive. 16 of them are separately. Number 17 is talked about interaction between all of them. However, we can combine many goals inside. We can talk about interaction between many goals at the same time. You can, when you are talking about equality in education, you are talking about many goals. When you are talking about, for example, diabetes educators, you are talking about health and education. So we are talking about educators. So educators and education must be on the top of these 17 goals because they are affecting and being affected by all other goals. Appreciation to all of you. Finally, every country has its national policy in education. We need to look forward to have another agenda, international educational policy. We need to be benefited from experience in India to Egypt and from Egypt to India and so on, because we are in the area and the time of globalization. So globalization must be done in education with respect to all fixed things inside every country, like religion and ethics and so on. But globalization in education or globalization in science means that transferring experiences, appreciation of scientists. I'm not only Egyptian, I am human beings. So I have a responsibility not only to, I'm not only responsible about Egypt or Africa, no. It's our globe. If there is any danger thing will affect any country, it will transfer to another. We have an example like COVID. COVID transferred between different countries in few minutes. So to protect the humanities, let's talk about sustainable development goals. Let's talk about appreciation of education because it's the most important goal. It's number 4, but I think it's slides moving before and after number 5. Thanks a lot. Appreciation to all IGIM team behind and in front of the camera. Thanks a lot, Ravi sir. Thanks, Miss Donnell and her lovely mother for their support to the platform. And thanks, my dear sister, Dr. Sonel, Dr. Buja, all respected colleagues, all speakers before me and after me. Appreciation to all our lovely attendees. Really, the discussion will create a difference with you. Thank you again and again. That's all what I have, and I need to listen from you. I need to hear from your side. Appreciation to all. Thank you very much again.
Wonderful, ma'am. Wonderful. I think the whole aspect that you covered was it is actually humanity first. Humanity comes first before we implement any other aspect of education, because unless and until we become humans first, we won't be able to instill humanity skills. And that is what we need to create: a culture society, a culture integrated curriculum first. The way you spoke about humanity skills, educators, I mean, there is a lot of multidimensional aspects you highlighted, and that is called. We need to start implementing culture oriented curriculum that can go with academics now in order to bring the sustainability development goals into action. It's going to be a challenge for everyone, but as we say, the show must go on, and let us all work hand in hand together. Ruk jana nahi to kahin har ke, and come on, get set go. As Aman ma'am has highlighted all the issues wonderfully: humanity skills, educators, health of educators, everything. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Wonderful. I would like to invite our next speaker, that is HE Honor Dr. Monique Lynch, on this wonderful platform of IDYM. And I take the privilege to welcome you, ma'am. Please take the center stage.
Hi, thank you so much for the introduction. So I will be speaking on the importance of the Sustainable Development Goals. So one would think, what are the Sustainable Development Goals? Now, to fight common global problems of human life, 193 countries came together and agreed on 17 sustainable goals and 169 sub-goals at the UN General Assembly. Now, basically, the SDGs is a compass showing the best routes for our desired designation. Now, the purpose was to come up with a set of universal goals that would help to combat the urgent environmental, political, health, and economic challenges facing our world. Now, the SDGs call on an intercontinental, a multi-sectoral, and interprofessional approach for all businesses, world leaders, NGOs, private and public sectors to apply their creativity and innovation to solve our sustainable development challenges. Now, what are these 17 sustainable development goals? Now, Dr. Iman would have already listed those. So what categories summarizes these 17 development goals? And these are: one, stable economic growth. And this is basically the eradication of poverty and hunger to ensuring healthy life, covering goals 1 to 3. 2, the conservation of natural resources. Now, this is basically to achieve the universal access to basic services such as water, sanitation, and sustainable energy. And this category covers goals 6, 7, 14, and 15. Now, the third category, social progress and equality. And this is basically to reduce the inequalities in the world, especially gender inequalities. Now, supporting the generation by the development of opportunities through inclusive education and decent work, fostering innovation and resilient infrastructures by creating communities and cities capable of producing and consuming sustainably. And these cover goals 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And the final category, environmental protection. And this is caring for the environment by combating climate change, protecting oceans and terrestrial ecosystems. And this would cover goals 13, 16, and 17. So who are the sustainable goals for? The Sustainable Development Goals are aimed at everyone: policymakers, civil society, businesses, academia, youth, each and every individual in every society. Additionally, along with the public sector, it is critical that the private sector and companies are involved in achieving the SDGs. Now, why are they important? Well, the most fascinating aspect of the goals is that everyone can contribute, and every contribution, whether small or big, will make an impact on our world. So to any young person who believes that one person can't change the world, it really only takes one person. Now, I've gathered the importance of the SDGs into 5 main categories. The first one, the SDGs provide essential human needs, and this is by finding innovative and sustainable ways to provide life essentials like food, shelter, and water. 2, the SDGs take into account the agricultural requirement. And this is basically finding ways to feed more than 3 billion people through sustainable agricultural methods. 3, the SDGs seek to manage climate change. 4, the SDGs seek to secure financial stability. And this is basically using sustainable development practices by having the ability to create more financially sustainable economies across the world. And then number 5, the SDGs promote a holistic, healthy development for all people and for all ages. Now, I'm going to zoom in on a specific goal, which is goal number 3, which is basically what my life's work is about. And goal number 3 is good health and well-being, ensuring healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. Now, the key facts about this particular goal is that physical and mental health has an impact on so many aspects of a human life that it is hard to address sustainable development without taking it into consideration. Now, in the last decade, in several different countries, significant progress has been made in improving several key areas of health. But the goal itself does not speak to mental illness in its entirety, but newer mental related health issues such as substance misuse, suicide, depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder are becoming more widespread. So what are some of the recommendations for government leaders? Now, the roles and the responsibilities of local government to ensure healthy lives will differ from country to country, but generally will include making mental health a priority. And how can we do this? 1, improving health governance related to inclusion, affordability, and accessibility of basic mental health care through healthcare facilities and hospitals for all persons, and all persons including minority groups, persons living on and below the poverty line, rural communities, indigenous groups like the Maroons, and etc. 2, providing training of basic mental health care to all healthcare providers, professionals, and workers. 3, giving incentives to private sector for incorporating mental health days, mental health leave for employees, and adding and covering therapy sessions under health insurance packages. 4, including mental health in the curriculum at every level of educational institutions and healthcare facilities. 5, disseminating information about the dangers of substance misuse and the withdrawal treatment. And this usually covers alcohol, tobacco, and other drug use. Now, 6, providing recreational facilities like parks, sport fields, stadiums, swimming pools, etc., to promote mental wellness. 7, promoting screening practices for mental illness in patients with non-communicable diseases, maternity patients, amputees patients, cancer patients, HIV patients, etc. Because a lot of these medications given to these persons have side effects that, if they are not treated, will lead to a mental disorder. And the last recommendation is running literacy campaigns to eradicate the discrimination and the stigma that is usually assigned to mental health and mental illness. So in conclusion, the impact of these sustainable goals on global sustainable development will largely depend on the world's ability to transition to new governance for sustainability that recognize the roles and the responsibilities of local and subnational governments. Now, for local governments in urban, peri-urban, and rural areas, are best linked to all global goals within their areas of work to benefit their local communities. Especially for mental health in rural communities, there are usually several barriers to accessing mental health care and services. Now, working primarily in developing and transitional countries, I'm sure we have all seen the impact, both the negative impact of the changing environments and the growing inequalities, but also the positive impact of the goals and how they're helping to create better opportunities for local communities in every country. So we have to use this momentum and keep pushing towards achieving these goals so that we can create a better world for us all. Thank you.
Very, very, very elaborately stressed, ma'am, because this was missing in today's session about the mental health. Mental health is a very, very important factor for all of us, because we highlight all the other issues and we forget about the mental health of the education. That is one
Right.
of the core sustainability developmental goals for the health of the educators first. We are always concentrating on academic part, how to educate children, how to bring all these things into action, but we always fail to empower ourselves first. How we
Right.
can create a wonderful mental health, how we can, well, you just need to be natural, be unique, be just true to yourself first, and only then we can blend all the academics and all the other NEP policies together in a beautiful way. So thank you so much, ma'am, for bringing this issue on highlight, and it was a privilege to have you here on IDYM, and I take my pleasure in giving you the stage and hosting you for at least 10 minutes. That 10 minutes is beautiful for creating quality learning for everyone. So for all the speakers of the today, I would like you to come on the stage, and just one message for the educators today. I would like to start with Sunil Sood, sir. Sunil Sood, sir, are you there? One message on SDG goals for educators out everywhere. One message, sir. Sunil Sood, sir.
Yeah. So it was very nice, and topic was of my interest, as you can make out from my comments. Thanks to you and the platform given. My message is actually very one thing which I missed out. I would like to use this time for that. My message is to let us all work together for taking India to a sustainable development path. We have already started one mission Sustainable India, and we have prepared vision documents for that and how we can do it, including sustainable education. The education is also part of it. So my request for today's all present will be to please help, please try to understand this mission Sustainable India and how we can work together on all the agendas, all the goals and targets together. Because instead of taking in a separately in a silo mode, we can take it in a whole together. Together, all the things we can take up. This is my point today. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable message. And we all hope to adhere to what you have said. Let's see. My next speaker, I think, is Zubair, sir. One strong message for all the educators out. Are you there, Zubair, sir? Zubair sir, are you there on the platform? I would like to call Iman ma'am for a strong message out for all of us.
Yes, my dear sister. Just I wanted to say, if the SD goals as like as a person or as like as a human being, so the education is the heart of this person. Thank you.
Very good. Because everything is captured in the heart. If you have the heart and soul put into action in doing good for others, everything will follow automatically. Wonderful, ma'am. Wonderful.
Thank
Next
you.
speaker, I think, Monique, ma'am. One strong message for all the educators.
I would say to include youth in the sustainable development goals. Youth are usually excluded from decision makers, and it's to the detriment of any country. Giving young people a seat at decision making tables, giving them that holistic education, promoting youth leadership and participation is the key to success of every country.
And yeah, that is very true. Very much needed also, because we highlight all the other issues and we escape this. Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful message for all of us. And last interaction with, I think, Zubair sir, are you there on the platform? Are you there on the platform, Zubair sir? Okay, we'll take on through Dr. Betkar sir for valuable feedback for the session, as we do every day, because he is one of the strongest feedback reviewer for the session.
Thank you, Sonal madam, and all the respected resource persons, Sunil Suru sir, Chaudhary sir, Iman madam. Today's topic related to the sustainable development, education, energy conservation, all these things. It was also interesting topic for Sunil Suru sir. Just he did work and some projects and in the part of the government making policy, all these things. So first of all, for the development of any country, energy is needed, and this energy should be conserved and moderately used, or new resources which are renewable energy should be found. So scientists are working on this, and because our energy resources, what is the coal, crude oil, petrol, all these things, natural gas, are going to cease within few years. So that every citizen, as one resource person was said, that every citizen should think about that. Every citizen to the government policy makers also did something for that, not including just a part of the text as a chapter in the field of our education teaching in education policy, that energy is important for the development. We should use moderate energy, useful energy, all these things. But practically, the energy wastage is there from all from common man to government. I'm just giving one example, madam, for you. We are running day-night matches of cricket. Thousands of kilowatt energy is used for that. It is also organized within day. The rallies organized by the government or any other private persons, those who are taking care of the society, those who are speaking about the well-being of society, they are using thousands of liter petrol consuming for the rallies. More government and private peoples are organizing the functions at night, and so that there is huge stress on the energy conservation, energy utilization and stress. So all these factors should be taken into consideration, and for the sustainable development, education is most of the key part. And if we do something for that, for conservation of energy, then it will be better for every country of the world. As one speaker was saying, that one grid is common grid for the world. So all these needed for all the world to have best development. Thank you, madam, for giving me this opportunity to say some few words about it. Thank you.
Yeah, that is what is culture education. That is missing. Culture education is much needed in all the aspects. Whatever grade you teach, whatever subject you teach, incorporate culture-oriented curriculum. Even if you do it for 5 to 10 minutes a day in a class, the children will become super achievers in each and every stream of the learning. It's not about only academic achievement. It's about overall overall landscape of the education being integrated, being creative, being artistic, along with theoretical and practical approaches taken. So wonderful, sir. Thank you so much. And I think Zubair sir has joined the platform. Are you there, sir? Zubair sir? He's not there, I think so. Zubair sir, are you there? I think his Wi-Fi is giving him a little bit of trouble. I think so. So today, session number 14, NEP 2020 Sustainability Developmental Goals. I take this privilege to end the session. Thank you to Idym. Thank you to the team working behind the screen. And I take my privilege in thanking all the speakers for their wonderful, without the PPTs, sharing and speaking with hands-on practical approaches. And thank you to each one of you. Wish you good day, good luck, and gratitude to all. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good night.